Now we are reaching a very interesting point, and let's have a look at what does it take to build your single-ended triode amplifier from scratch. And of course, everyone wants to have his first project turn out like this one. So this was my set amp, single-ended triode amp. Uh, this picture was taken about 6 years ago, and at that point, with my little home-built triode amp, I had the most amazing Jazz at the Pawn Shop experience ever. And of course, it was paired with my homemade loudspeakers, which are Fostex Voigt pipes. And I made those pipes 20 years ago. They were my very first DIY loudspeaker project. And it was really easy, really cheap to build with quite inexpensive drivers. And together with this triode amp, the Jazz at the Pawn Shop experience was such that right before I listened to Jazz at the Pawn Shop, I listened to my friend Taltos playing live, and that was Jazz at the Dragon Upstairs here in Chinatown. And right after that experience, I put on the Jazz at the Pawn Shop, which is the exact same thing, a jazz band playing jazz in a pub. And of course, when I was listening to him play live at the Dragon Upstairs, I listened to for the sonics and how everything feels, how the dynamics, blah, 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 and so on, plus the experience, how the environment feels when people are paying and stuff like that. All those noise when they carry around the beer, the glasses clinking, people laughing, talking, the ambience noise, how the drum snaps, how the saxophone sounds, etc. And when I was listening at home to the Jazz at the Pawn Shop experience, it was, I would say, the exact same as I had live at the Dragon Upstairs. And it was just something that was so extraordinary that so I think that's what building your own amplifiers are about. And when you build your own speakers and you have moments like this, needless to say, it played not just Jazz at the Pawn Shop beautifully, but many other things. And I can quite shamelessly say that it has been, the amp as it was, the most dynamic amplifier I ever heard in my life. And that includes professionally made amplifiers, even the Ongaku. Now, let's get back to our premise. What does it take to build your single-ended triode amplifier from scratch? Can you build it? And most importantly, can you do it as your first project? Can you expect such results? So what does it take to build a triode amplifier? Because I have received a request that could I guide you through building an amp not from a kit but from scratch. So when you build something from scratch, then you have to come up with the schematics. Well, I can do that for you. I can come up with the schematics. There's no problem for that. Part selection. Well, that's a little bit more tricky, but I can come up with a part selection, but then it cannot be universal because you, my viewers, subscribers are all over the world, and some parts which are available at certain parts of the world are not available at other parts. So it's now it's becoming a tougher ride. And also we are going to have to compromise a lot with the part selection because they cost quite a bit when you want to make a really good job. But of course, I have the experience to recommend to you parts that don't break a bank but bring you very good result. So ultimately, I would say that these two are okay. We can ace those things. There's no problem with that. Now there is a problem which newbies don't think at all about, and that's layout. So the layout of the parts, how what proximity the transformers are to each other, how close the vacuum tubes are, where's your power switch, where's your RCA jack, and so on and so on, how that's going to impact it a lot. And partially that's the key to making it hum free. So if your amplifier hums, if you have checked everything and you did not make a problem or a mistake with soldering or connecting things together, you did everything perfect by the book and it still hums, it's the layout. Well, I can still help with the layout and can prepare it for you, or if you have some problem you can take a picture of what you have done, and based on the picture I'm probably able to tell you that there's a problem with the layout and you did something wrong there. Wiring. Now wiring is another issue, and I would say you need practice to get things right. And the thing is that if you are building a kit amplifier, then those kit amplifiers already have been tested by many. Usually the successful kits, there are hundreds or even thousands of kits sold already, and they have feedback from people, and now they know what are those points that people mess up. And I am a very experienced builder, but I know that when someone tries to build something and just is starting out, there I cannot predict what will be the mistake that they are making. If there is like 10 new person starting out building amplifiers, they will make different types of mistakes, each one or the other. If I am there to supervise, that's easy peasy, no problem. But if I am not there and I just give you pointers, unfortunately, I cannot give every pointer because that would probably take a 50-hour-long video or even longer. We do not have that capability. So basically, what is missing with that first build is just a massive amount of experience, and you are not going to get it with a build from scratch a project, because there all of these things I can partially take care of them for you, but when you are executing the build, then you need a lot of experience on how you put them together. And the thing is that if there's a kit, especially push-pull amplifier kits, they are much more forgiving, and if you mess up something there, it's not going to impact the end result as much, and you can, with a very high success rate, make a kit amplifier work. And actually I would say just about almost 100% success rate there will be, even without anyone being there to hold your hands. However, now let's get back to a first time build from scratch. These are still hard parts, but they have been the easy part of your journey. And now comes the really tough parts. The chassis. It can be the single prohibitive issue, because you need woodworking skills or metalworking skills and tools to work on the chassis. So you can build a chassis which is all metal or metal plus wood. But for the metal, when you have the plate for your amplifier, you need to punch the holes for the tubes, your holes for the transformers, and for that, for the transformer holes, you can use a drill, but for the tube sockets, you need a metal punch tool. And those unfortunately come in sets only, and even if you buy the cheapest one, that's about $300-400 just for those tools to punch your tube sockets into your metal chassis. So it needs quite a bit of investment. And also, I would recommend that if you are not building a kit, you are building something that is a custom project. Having a Variac is mandatory. Of course, having good meters and tools is mandatory, but hopefully you already have it by now if you are dedicated. Needless to say, safety is absolutely paramount. And when you have a kit amplifier, they already have safety down, I would say, because there is a lot of user experience, and the kits are already adjusted for making all of those problems. And one more thing why kit amplifiers are easier to start is that for a set you will have a hard choice, because if you want to make it affordable and easy to build, it will be super low power, flea power amp. Be ready that then your first project will be about 1 watt output per channel, or maybe tops 1.5 watts per channel. And if you want to go beyond that, it won't be that easy. So this is just in a nutshell, just a few. Why is it now? It just jumped 2 slides. This is unbelievable. This PowerPoint. Anyway, so where was I? About projects. So in the next video, I'm going to share with you what was my first project, and needless to say, I was really sad, just as disappointed as you are, that my first project was not a single-ended triode amp, and I went with a kit. But it has been an extremely rewarding experience, and I will tell you why it is something that is worth to think about in the next video. Thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Bye bye.